there is an invisible field with invisible paths that you can feel into, that will lead you to living a more enjoyable life. Okay? And what do I mean by this? Is so picture you walking through life, right? You are currently on one path. Ultimately, there will only ever be one path. Um, you can't ever, there can't be a separate one. But you can live different types of lives, right? You can stay contracted in your entire life if you so choose, and live a very small, limited life. There are other options out there for you that are available for you, and that you can take. And I mean this in a very pragmatic way. So even just imagine while you're while you're walking, right? Let's say you're walking and walk. You can be in this contracted state, right? And you're taking a walk, and it's very, you feel very limited, and you feel very um, compressed, and you don't feel that spacious feeling. If you start feeling into this invisible field, right? You can start feeling where things are, and there are actual things out there that can be felt. And when you start feeling into them without analyzing, without thinking, right? When you start thinking, it just it gets in the way of all of this. So, but it's a very felt thing, and you start feeling into that, and you start feeling and feeling more, and the more you feel, the deeper you feel into that, more things start opening up, and then it even begins you moving differently. You start moving act like physically differently, and then in so you start moving in different directions and going towards different things. And if you continue feeling into this more and more, it will lead you into different opportunities, and you'll be in a different felt space to be able to say yes to different opportunities, have the capacity for different opportunities, and you will just be on a quite different path. If you stay limited and contracted in, totally fine, totally cool. Um, you might not be led, you might not lead yourself to all of these different options. You might not even know that they're there. And even in the very immediate, when you start feeling into this invisible field that you can't see, and you start moving and feeling in different ways, there's already the reward of feeling like better, more spacious, more alive. You feel like a new person, because in a way you are stepping into new parts of yourself. So I recommend start just playing around with this idea and concept. This is not some woo woo shit. It's a very real, very pragmatic thing that you can feel into at all times, and you will notice that it will lead you to different circumstances, right? If you're around other people and if you're in this contracted space, right, and you're there, and um, there could be people around you, and you might not talk to any of them, right? Or someone might come up to you and start speaking to you, and from this space, you don't feel like you have a lot of capacity for the conversation, so you might not respond how you could or you normally would. And you might just give like a yes no, and then the person might feel like you might want to talk, you might not want to talk, and you might not want to talk. So then they'll walk away, and you'll stay in the contracted space, like I said, which is totally okay. And then, okay, then right, scenario B. Now you're in scenario B. You're sitting there in a public space, and you're feeling into this invisible field, and you're opening up more into these invisible paths and spaces within yourself, and all of a sudden you're feeling more alive, you're feeling more open, you're feeling more aware, you're feeling like you have more capacity. And then let's say you, like, same thing, you don't even start a conversation, someone else walks up to you for whatever reason, and they strike up a conversation with you. And now, since you have more access to things that were there in this invisible field, i.e., you are then responding to them in a much different way. And now that you have access to these spaces from this field and you're talking to them, the conversation goes in a completely different way. And who knows, now maybe they sense something there, feel something there, and then they offer you some kind of opportunity, right? You take that opportunity, it leads to the next thing, the butterfly effect, yada, yada, yada. You see what I'm saying here? Do you see my point? How it's a very pragmatic, practical thing that when you start just feeling and opening to these different places around you in this invisible field, things happen, things start opening. There are new opportunities. Okay, your life can be drastically different so easily. It can be drastically different today, starting right now. You don't need to go do anything else. This isn't about having to do all of this work. It's a very immediate thing that you just start feeling feeling more into your field and opening up. The key is always feeling. Okay, so feel more into that, feel into everything around you as much as you can in a very open, soft way, in a very aware way. You don't have to worry about that, because when you're aware, if there is anything that doesn't feel good, that's a path you don't want to go down. Okay, and then in that, you close up a little bit, and then that's where you contract a little bit and you start feeling into somewhere else. Okay, those are your signals. When you're at a place that doesn't feel good, that doesn't mean anything bad and you have to keep going down there and feeling more into it. No, that's not the path for you. That's a path you don't want to go down. And if you do, then there's probably going to be some shit down that path that doesn't feel good, right? That's where a boundary is. That's what boundaries come into. And that's when you say no. That's when you say, no, I'm good. I don't want to take that path, all right? Then you turn around and you feel into other areas in this invisible field, and you find out where there are some paths that you might want to take. And then the ones that feel good, follow those, and then go down that path. Because you know what might be down that path? Some shit that feels good and some new cool opportunities that you might want. So I'm going to leave it at that. Feel into this invisible field. Like I said, that is you. And yeah, just may your life become better and better and better and better and even better.